ギリギリチャンバラガシャッとガチャーレベルアップ爆走独走激走暴走爆走バイクあげちゃギリギリギリギリチャンバラ
Hello YouTube, this is Shirley426, and today we have a review of a Kamen Rider figure. It's been a long time, but this is the review of the P-Bandai exclusive, or P-Bandai exclusive, SHF Kamen Rider Lazer Level 3. Or technically, in the official box, it would be written as Kamen Rider Lazer Chanbara Bike Gamer Level 3. So, honestly, I'm not going to be using that as the title because that's just too long, so I'm just going to be calling this Kamen Rider Lazer Level 3, because that's how I like to call it. Alright, so, once again, as I mentioned, it's been a long time since I've made a Kamen Rider review, and yeah, we're back in business. So, I would like to mention that I am currently watching and enjoying the recent Kamen Rider 01, and I have been able to now recently successfully pre-order the SHF Kamen Rider 01, and I am very excited for it, and I'm very excited for the upcoming SHF Kamen Rider Vulcan and Horobi. And I'm getting really tempted to buy a DX belt from the series as well. But anyway, let's get on to the review. So first of all, as usual, we're going to go with components, articulation, and then a few poses that you can pull out. Now this is the level 3 of Kamen Rider Lazer that was used by Kiria from the Kamen Rider EX-Aid series. He was basically my favorite character, and in terms of rider as well. Of course, I wasn't really a big fan of the rider at first because its level 2 form is a motorcycle, which I was not too happy about. But when I realized he got the level 3, and then now finally had a humanoid form, I was very excited to see him in action, and I was not. And I was correct. His action scenes or everything about him was very cool until on Christmas Eve they killed him off, and then he was brought back to life in the future. Anyway, so let's get on to the review. So as I mentioned, this is one of my favorite riders from the series. Granted, I do prefer Kamen Rider level 0, but I missed my chance of getting level 0, so this will have to do at the moment, and I am just as happy as well. Okay, so let's talk about components. So first of all, what you get, of course, is obviously the rider itself, the Kamen Rider Lazer level 3. And then in terms of the other accessories, you get the gamer driver with 2 gashots in it, the yellow one being the its Bakusho bike, and then the other black gashot being the Giri Giri Chanbara gashot. Alright, so other than that, for hands, currently on the figure or out of the box, it will have two fists on left and right as a default hand, which I'm currently using at the moment. And then on this side, we have 3 more sets of hands. So you get 4 type of hands in total. So we get a fully open hand, as you can see. We have fully open hands. We get semi-open hands for posing. And then we get the multi-purpose hand. But of course, I see multi-purpose hands, but this is kind of like a semi-trigger finger hand, because if you see there, the trigger finger is a little bit to the front, but the way how the grips, they're more stronger, so it's really a mixture between a multi-purpose hand and a trigger finger hand. But either way, it works perfectly fine. And then for its weapon, we get the Gashakon Sparrow, which is one of the most coolest, which I consider one of the more cool weapons that was in the series, because the rest were kind of funky. But yeah, so we have this, and oddly enough, as you can see, we have the slot where you can put the gashots, and it has another Giri Giri Chanbara gashot. And here's the thing with the SHF Kamen Rider stuff from EX-Aid. Now in the series, they use these things called gashots, which this is the handle, and then there's like a clear piece like this on top of it. So yeah, but in the figure line, they do not include that, and there's supposed to be a sticker here indicating what gashot it is, but that's also not present. So so everybody did enjoy the SHF figure arts from the EX-Aid, but most of the complaints or the negative sides were about the gashots, were that they were not very detailed. Which is why I believe after EX-Aid came out, Kamen Rider built, and they did an excellent job with the full bottle gimmicks. They actually replicated very well, so yeah, I guess they did kind of get feedback from this line of figures. So here we have the Gashakon Sparrow. This is in its aero mode. The buttons are not pressable. You cannot press them, being a small figurine. Yeah, Definitely like the color. I don't see any issues regarding the color or paint. Definitely like the gimmick, and then you can split this up to become its size mode. Um, yeah, definitely awesome weapon. And then if you now this is the main part that connects the two, so there's only one top. But I do wish there were actually two more. There was another peg around the bottom section, so we would have a more stronger connection. But either way, if you don't like this part popping out, you are able to take it out. Of course, yeah, it doesn't come out that easy, but you can take it out, but just be careful not to lose that part as well. But I like to just leave it as it is, and yeah. And about some warnings regarding the figure, I've heard some cases, including with Kamen Rider Lazer level 0 and 3, is that some people accidentally broke the handle of the weapon. And also, Kamen Rider Lazer would have these spike horns on its head, these pink horns here. Some people, I don't know how, but they kind of sometimes, you might see some cases, people selling the second-hand ones, saying that some of the horns or one of the horns can be broken off. But just be careful with that. I haven't had that issue with mine, but just to let you guys know. Alright, so let's get on to the review. So let's go with the articulation. Let me just, oops. So for this figure, it's very bulky. As you can see, the figure is very bulky and has a lot of armor. Because the main reason, number one, is that Kamen Rider Lazer level 2 is actually a motorcycle. Yeah, you heard me, for those who don't know what the series is about, or what Kamen Rider is. But in this series, or in this particular Kamen Rider EX-Aid series, this character's level 2 form, which other riders would have a normal humanoid form, this guy's level 2 form is a motorcycle. So yeah, and with level 3 Gashots, a small cyborg or small mini bot would come out and then combine with it and to make its human form for this guy, which is why we can see he looks much more bulky and fatter than most riders that you'll see in the series. All right, so let's get on to the articulation. Okay, so let's look at the head. Now the head, I've seen some cases where people took off the mask in front of here and would reveal the typical Kamen Rider level 0's, Kamen Rider Lazer level 0's head, but I'm not gonna do that. But they definitely did an excellent job on how it looks. It really feels like that I have like a mini version of the actual rider suit from the series, but yeah, from the show. So the head, once again, be careful with the spikes. It doesn't really break that easily, but still. So the head can go down that much, up that much. That's actually a pretty good bend when you think about it. And then 360, let's see. I can't say it's possible. I think you can force it, but I'm not going to take the risk. And they did a very nice job on the black painting here, very glossy. And then the mask here is very metallic as well. And the eyes can be seen very well, so yeah, no issues here. So another thing that people kind of complain about this version is that the yellow that was seen here, which was basically the part of the motorcycle, is very the plasticish yellow. Now the main body, it has some sort of gloss effect on it, and on the lower section it has a more rubber color on it. It's not actually made out of rubber, I would like to mention that, but still the color tone is different, and some people don't like this type of yellow as well. Alright, so another mention is that Kamen Rider Lazer, his fighting style is based on speed, but in this form, he becomes more clunkier and does actually lose speed. But that's just that is something I just want to mention. And let's look at these shoulders. Now the shoulders are very, very limited. I would like to say that. So reason number one, we have these flaps that do go up and down. But problem is, it doesn't go up that much, because if you look at the back, this is the head slash face of well, I'm not sure if it's actually his level 2 or level 1 form, but either way, we have another face here on the back, and then on this section here we have the handles of the motorcycle, and this actually does collide with the armor. So just be careful not to break anything from here. I mean, I feel like the handles are also one of the things that's easy to break, and if you have the armors, these flaps fully up, now the arms can technically go 360, but once again you have to move the arm to the side, and then you can see there's a nice ball jointed connection which allows the shoulder to move forward and backward. But another issue is that the arms itself it doesn't go up much. This is as far as I can go. I mean, I can force it to go up more, but I'm afraid I'm gonna break it. So in this section, if you go like this, it does go a little bit more than as you guys just saw. But yeah, it doesn't really go up until 90 degrees. So that's another problem here. let me just, yeah. Because the shoulder armor, number one, this thing is pretty much blocking the way, and then inside there's another shoulder armor that does not move at all, that moves together with the outer shoulder armor, which is blocking the way. Hence, I think it blocks the moving section right over here, which is why that is the case. Other than that, the arm itself has another nice 360 twist, and then the arm bend. Now, with this, it looks like it can go only 90 degrees, but that's because of the armor. So if you look in front of the armor piece, right over here, you can see there's some sort of latch over here, that, or a sliding gimmick, that you can change the position of this armor. So it's currently on the bottom, so I'm going to move it to the other side. So it kind of requires some pushing and then sliding. So this is one of the parts that I wasn't too fond about, because I feel like I was gonna break it. But once again, if you move it all the way to the other side, now it actually allows a little bit more bending on the arm as well. Of course, you need to change the position of certain stuff, but still. So yeah, it's nice. It's good to see that they actually did show some consideration regarding that aspect as well. And the hands are your typical SHF figure arts hand, where the ball joint is on the arm, not on the hand, unlike Gunpla. Alright, and then regarding the body, so we have a nice ab crunch going on here. Nice ab crunch, 360 twist, not possible. Keep in mind, this is a human inside. And then we have a nice belt. I don't know if there's a way to actually take off the belt. And then, well, other than you take off the upper body and then slide it out, other than that method. And then we have the gamer driver. They did a very good job on the small details on the screen of the gamer driver. And then nice in this section right over here. And I would like to mention, for those who are trying to get even at this point trying to get the DX gamer driver, do not get the gashots from Korea. The build itself is supposed to be a hunk of plastic in terms of the toy, but the gashots in the Korean ones, they are all dubbed in Korean, so do not get that. So regarding the pink handle, you are able to fold it up, very nice. And then yes, you are able to take off the gashots as well. So here's the Giri Chambara, once again, no plastic piece. Here we have the Bakusho bike, which is basically a yellow version of the same piece. Alright. And then on the back section of on this section, there is the place where you are able to save in extra gashots, which does not apply onto the figure because we don't have a clear piece parts. And then in here, this green section here, there is a slot where you can actually plug in the gashots to perform a finisher move. But because of the backpack, this thing, and the location, most of the riders would have it on the side here, right over here. But because of his bulky armor, it's on the back. And because of that, it's very hard to plug it in. So I'm not even going to try that. But I would like to mention that you are able to plug that in over there. Okay, so then now let's get the waist section. The waist section, yeah, we have this part which protects the crotch area. And then we have the side skirt armor, which is actually, I think, is connected to the side or the lower body. But either way, this thing also hinders a lot. It doesn't move that much, it doesn't go forward or backward that much. So because of this, the legs cannot go 90 degrees up front. I mean, you can go about this much, but that's as far as you go. But you do have a nice bend. And then you have a nice side swivel going on, and then can't go to the side 90 degrees as well for obvious reasons. And your feet are your typical ball jointed feet, or kind of, well, sort of. I wouldn't say ball jointed feet fully, but you get the idea. So you have a nice 360 twist, you have a nice pivot, and then you have the toe bend that goes up. And another detail I was never aware about, you have these giant fists on the back of the leg, and these are not actually from the rider itself. I believe these are from that small mini bot that would be summoned when you use the Gashkon, not Gashkon, the Giri Chambara Gashat. So these are the hands of that bot, which makes me wonder on how the effect would be if he actually performed the rider kick, because in this form he never performed such things, or a official finisher move regarding that. He does do a lot of kicks, but not the rider kicks. Alright, so we're done with the basic components, so I'll be right back with the first set of equipment. Okay, I'm back with the first set of equipment, or technically mode, but so on the right hand, I'm currently on the left hand actually, I'm using the multi-purpose hand to hold the Gashkon Sparrow in its arrow mode, and on the right hand, I'm using a more of the semi-open hand for the posing, for the sake of posing. So currently, as you can see regarding the pose, despite not being able to move the legs itself that much due to the armor, it can still pull out a pretty decent, kneel pose, like it's trying to shoot its Gashkon Sparrow from while kneeling, and they did a pretty good job. Now, regarding the hand, this is how I felt at first, because the more easier way to connect the weapon to the hand is that you take it apart first. Whoops, sorry about that. And then, so this gray section right over here is the handle, basically. So on the other side, you basically plug it in like a gun on the top, and then you just reconnect the bottom section. And it has a pretty firm grip. At first, I had some doubts regarding this, because I had some doubts, but still, it works pretty well than you think. Now, actually, the more standing pose, because the overall bulk compared to the small feet, it may sometimes be hard to pose. But yeah, so which is why I would suggest you kind of invest on an extra action base for Kamen Rider stuff. So one of these things. Now, I believe this is the stage Act 4 or something like that, or 3, whatever. But these things come in a set of 3, so at first you might feel like it's expensive, but keep in mind there's 3 sets of these inside. So yeah. And unlike Gunpla, there is no hole to plug them in, so you have to use the claw thing. For Gunpla, you can just take off the claw and then use the on the peg. But either way, you get my idea. And another issue that I have on mine is that here is where you put the gashot slot, and by sliding it in, it would activate the finisher move or sequence. So this is, as I mentioned, this is how the gashot looks, and I am aware there's like a third-party product where they made stickers for these, but either way, the thing is that this is how they're supposed to look like. So they're supposed to have a sticker right over here, technically on this side as well, with the name, and then this big clear piece, as you can see. But this on the figures, this is not present, but just wanted to show you guys how this works. Alright, so now we're done with the first pose. I'll be back with the second set of weapon / mode. Okay, here's the last set of pose. Now currently I'm doing the finisher mode or finisher move pose for the scythe mode. So basically, when it's in its arrow mode, when it inserts the gashot into the weapon, it would fire these powerful shots basically, and then on the scythe mode, it would basically charge up the scythe and then basically commence a powerful slash attack, or either that he can throw those slash attacks to the enemy. So yeah, once again, despite having the bulky armor and having some limited articulation compared to a typical SHF figure arts, I think it's still able to pull off most pulls that it did in the show, at least. That's what I think. So yeah, now plugging in the weapons are pretty simple. You just need to basically slide it in those hands. Now for the right hand, it has no problems holding, but you can see on the left hand, it's kind of on the wobbly side, because it's mostly because of the bow mode, because I mostly use the bow mode on the left hand, and it does kind of increase the space in the hand due to the stretching aspect, but still it works pretty well. And once again, I would like to mention on this section, the gashot does fall off a little bit easy on mine. I hope that's not the case for other people, because I had some cases where I was posing around and I noticed that the gashot was on the ground, not on this floor, but on the actual ground. So just be careful not to lose it. I mean, granted, you would have already a extra here, or depending on how you look at it, but it's not fun to lose anything. And that's pretty much it for the review. So anybody who's like a collector out there and who loves really Kamen Rider Lazer or the character, I would recommend this. I would recommend this because it's basically, it's what you expect. I mean, obviously it's level 3. It looks clunky, and it is actually clunky, but still can pull out pretty good poses that we saw in the series. So yeah, if you're a big fan of Lazer, definitely get it. Anyway, thanks for watching the review, and hopefully I have more SHF figure arts or any Kamen Rider related products review that I will be able to making soon. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed it, and hope this review was helpful as well. So until then, see you guys next time!